This is a picture of King George III. King George III ruled Britain during the time of the Boston Tea Party, it says. Standing up to the king. Despite the pounds of tea destroyed on the evening of December 16th, 1773, the disguised colonists did no other damage to the ships or the people aboard them. Overall, it was a peaceful protest meant to send a strong message to King George and the British government. Here is how Howes recalled the conclusion to the event. Now, Howes was the shoemaker. We then quietly retired to our several places of residence without having any conversation with each other or taking any measures to discover who were our associates. Nor do I recollect of our having had the knowledge of the name of a single individual concerned in that affair, except that of Leonard Pitt. There appeared to be an understanding that each individual should volunteer his services, keep his own secret, and risk the consequences for himself. So, if they didn't know who the other people were that participated, then if they were caught, they couldn't tell anybody's names, right? Everybody just keep it a big secret. You know, only you participated. No one else knows. So it was less chance of anybody else getting in trouble. There's a picture of the streets of Boston. For many days after the historic protest, the streets of Boston were quiet and orderly. The days and nights that followed this event were more quiet in Boston, if only for a short time. The colonists had spoken out against British rule. Eventually, King George ordered punishment for his disobedient subjects, leading the colonies one step closer to revolution. Now, what do you think about King George continuing to send the tea even after the people had refused? That he's just going to keep on sending it, even though his people are like, no, we don't want it. We're boycotting it. We're not buying it. See, it says, King George was certain that the colonies could not hold to their boycotts and tea replacements for long. So what kind of a guy was King George? I mean, he was sort of forcing it on them, wasn't he? But then again, he was king. So I'm sure he was used to enforcing what he wanted to do. Okay. Why do you think that the British ships that were all surrounding did nothing to stop this raid from happening? I mean, why would that be? Why wouldn't they get out there? See, it says, we were surrounded by British armed ships, but no attempt was made to resist us. What do you think? It's an interesting question, isn't it? Okay, so they all met together very quietly, and they all just kind of went on board the ships and did the deed and left and didn't hurt anyone. Just, they made their point. Now, what drove them to make this point? Well, they tried to do it with words, right? They tried to do it by boycotting the tea. They tried to have it sent back. They tried to do it in a way where nobody lost anything, nobody got hurt, nothing was damaged. But it didn't work. And Samuel Adams kind of gives this very cryptic little statement. This meeting can do no more to save the country. Meaning, guys, you know, we can talk till we're blue here, but nothing's going to happen. We're going to have to step it up just a little bit and show them that we mean business. Okay, so what do we learn from these two accounts? Why does the author give us these two, Joshua Wythe and George Hughes? Why does the author give us these two accounts? What do you think it does for the story? Do you think it makes the story much more believable? And it gives you a much more, like a first-person account of what really happened. Those are primary sources, first-person accounts. So they were there. I would much rather hear about something from someone who was actually there and saw it with their own eyes. It makes it much more believable. All right, so after you have heard this reading, I encourage you to go in your book, if you have your book, to page 374 and read the story for yourself. And then please complete the comprehension questions that will be uploaded on Google Classroom.